So it's that time of year again, with the Premier League season only a couple of days away. I'm going to put my hat in the ring and I'm going to put my predictions of who I think is going to win the league, who I think is going to go down, who I think is going to get the European places, all that nice stuff. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any more from me, I'm going to try and do some more football related content. Please like and subscribe. It would be really appreciated. So without further ado, let's go and dive in talking about my Premier League predictions for the 2020, 24 and 25 season. Let's go. Let's start who I think is going to finish bottom. Let's go. Let's start with who I think is going to finish bottom of the Premier League this season. Obviously, let's talk about it. Basically, I think Leicester City are going to finish bottom of the Premier League. Obviously, we obviously forget that obviously they did struggle last season in the Championship before obviously it just about went over the line and won it last season. Obviously, they've lost their former manager who went to Chelsea, so obviously Steve Cooper is their new manager. I think they're going to struggle. They've got points deductions coming away. Their defence isn't the greatest. Obviously, the midfield's probably not as physical as it should be in the Premier League. And and they're still relying on Vardy's goals. Obviously, so I think goals are going to be a problem. But I think Leicester are going to finish bottom. Wouldn't be surprised though if they do. This prediction is probably going to be wrong. So Steve Cooper is a good manager. Obviously, it just didn't work out. Not on the Forest near the end. And obviously, he did keep them up in the first season. So he does have the experience of keeping a newly promoted team in the league. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do there. But I think 20th wouldn't surprise me if they maybe did better than this. But I truly think with the players they've got, and obviously the lack of goals, that's probably going to happen if Vardy is not scoring goals again. They're going to struggle. So I think Leicester are going to finish bottom. So let's talk about who I think is going to finish 19th place. Still in the relegation zone. Obviously, I'm talking. I think Southampton are going to be 19th place. Obviously, it was very good to get out of it. Win the playoffs against Leeds, final against Leeds. Play some good football, obviously under Russell Martin. He's got them playing. He's got Southampton playing some good stuff. Very good up and coming manager. Very good stuff. But I just don't think their kind of maybe squad's not really. Still overall probably not up to the Premier League standard. Obviously they've still got Adam Armstrong, obviously got the top scorer in 24 last season, but I think they're still struggling with goals as well. So who's going to get the, obviously if you want to stay up, obviously solidify defence, have a good defence, but also need goals. I don't know where that's going to come from Southampton. But you've got obviously tactically they're quite astute, and obviously Russell Martin is a very astute manager, so I wouldn't surprise me if they're going to play some good stuff, but I just think the quality would be too much for them. And but you never know, surprise in the Premier League. But I just don't think the quality's there as much as you could be as tactical smart as you want. But if you just don't have like goals, ability to score goals, and obviously the squad, if injuries come along the way, then you're in trouble. But obviously we'll see. But I just don't see Southampton staying up. But I like to be wrong in this one. But I think Southampton are going to finish 19th. At the 18th spot, the last relegation spot, who do I think is going to get it? There's a lot of teams that I think could get in there, could drop into that 18th spot. But I think my gut feeling is that it's just Nottingham Forest's time. Obviously they survived the first season. The second season, I think they survived due to the fact a lot of the teams around them. But they some good stuff as well. But like a lot of teams around them were kind of obviously all three of the promoted sides. The quality wasn't as good, and also we've had a situation of obviously the point deductions as well. So they were kind of lucky in that sense. But I think their luck will run out eventually. A lot of stuff's going. Last season they gave up a lot of leads. Obviously they're a bit fluky in a way. Obviously we had the whole situation last season with the saying that the ref was pro Luton. That obviously didn't go down well. I think I just don't think they've got good players in Nottingham Forest. But I just think it's you can only ride your luck for so long, and it'll be interesting to see. But maybe Santos could get them playing some good football. Obviously he's done some good job at Wolves back in the day, so maybe he could. But my thoughts is not enough Forest's time has run out, and I think they're going to get relegated this season. Talk about 17th place. Who's going to be the team in my predictions is going to scrape by? Who's going to be the one that just scrapes and stays in the Premier League? It might be a choice that not a lot of people are picking, but I really have a good feeling about Ipswich Town. I don't know what it is. I think it might be because of the story of them going from League One to the Championship in 2 years, to the Premier League in 2 years. I love that story. Obviously, Kieran McKenna obviously had a lot of big clubs after him, but he turned down and signed a new deal with Ipswich Town. I like the way they play. I have a good feeling. Obviously, the thing that could be a problem is obviously did he have the physicality in the middle to really hold out against like the big sides in the Premier League. I don't know. Obviously, time will tell. But obviously, it'd be interesting to see what happens. They've got no fear. They've got nothing to lose. I think they've still got the core players that got them up. Just a little bit of added, very quality additions as well. I just have a good feeling about Ipswich Town. I just don't think it's going to be another season where it's like all three of the promoted teams go down like last season. I've got a good vibe against Ipswich. I think they've got something. I think if it's not Ipswich, it's going to be somebody else from the top, the new promoted sides. I just don't think it's going to be like last season. But yeah, Ipswich Town 17th, that's my pick. I just have a feeling they're going to have just enough or find a way to stay up. 16th place. Who do I think is going to get 16th place? My pick is going to be Everton. Obviously, Sean Dyche has got them defensively, like as you expect, like their Burnley sides, very good there. But obviously, the problem with Everton has been for a long time has been lack of goals. They can't score. Calvin Lewin has obviously been injury prone the last couple of years, so the goals have been struggling. They've just about survived over through good defensive work and a bit of good results, and also a bit of luck with the idea that a lot of teams around them are, going for the same problems in that quality as well. But I don't know. I think 16th might be a bit harsh, maybe, but a lot of teams around them, I think, but they're going to be like low mid-table, like basically 5th, 16th. And obviously, it is their last season at Goodison after they moved their new stadium. It's cost a fortune, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously, if they can keep Jaron Branthwaite, they've got, because a lot of big clubs have been going after them, they've got a chance. And if Calvin Lewin can stay fit as well, I think they will have enough to be, comfortably 16th. But again, with Everton, you don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if I put 16th and they go down. But I have a feeling they've got enough this season. Sean Dyche has finally implemented what he wants to do there. Just needs to take that next step. Not quite sure it's there yet, but intrigued to see what happens. But yeah, 16th. I think Everton are going to just stay up with 16th place. But I don't know. The last season at Goodison might be enough motivated to really motivate the players. But it'll be interesting to find out. But yeah, I think they're going to finish 16th. So 15th place. Who do I think is going to get that 15th? Who's going to finish 15th next season? I think Brentford. I don't know, I think Brentford's one of the things they kind of got sucked into the relegation stuff last season, and a bit lucky obviously Luton and that wasn't, the leap was too big, so they're never really going to fall into the relegation trap door. But I think obviously it's what happens sometimes with teams that are consistently good, eventually they're going to drop off, obviously, if they don't move up the table. It's classic, a story as always time. But yes, obviously their problem last season is their just lack of set piece. I think they were 8th in kind of XG differences from last season about scoring set pieces, so that's usually where their goals just came from. But yes, they've still got good players. Ivan Toney's still there. I think I'm really going after him, so the goals will be there as well. I've just got a good feeling. I think they'll be fine. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a tight one between 17th and 15th. It will be dragged into that at some point. But yeah, I just think Brentford will be okay. I don't know. I just think they've still got the core good players that's kept them. And obviously, Thomas Flick is a very good, experienced manager by now for keeping them inside. Don't see anything bad coming from there. So, interesting to see if they can set out the set piece. They could set piece situation, and obviously more of the goals maybe. That'd be fine. Maybe move up to a bit more. But 15th, I think Brentford is the best place for them. So I think they're going to finish 15th. The 14th place, who I think is going to finish that? I think Wolves are going to get that spot. Obviously, Gary Neal, we were really impressed with what he did with that team last season, because a lot of people were tipping them to go down. But yeah, they've got good stuff. He's got them playing some good football. The only problem I probably have with them is obviously they're not probably good level. I think they've lost a couple of big players. They've got some. I've seen some pre-season from them. They look good, so I think they're going to play some good stuff. But again, the quality and losing some of the quality players might pay difference to be like the down the bottom end more than looking up. They're more looking down. But yeah, like I said, Gary Neville's got them playing some good stuff and really good up and coming manager. Wouldn't surprise me in a couple of years he gets a good big job in the top 6 maybe, possibly. Depends on that, what time will tell. But yeah, Wolves, I just think they're going to play some good stuff. They're probably going to score some cool, really good goals. But I just think they're going to need a couple more players if they want to be higher up on the table. I think that's going to be a problem because obviously with what's happening at Wolves. So I think Gary Neville can do all his best, but I think 14th's perfect spot for them. I don't think they're going to struggle in the relegation fight, but I don't think they're going to push that top half. I just don't think they have the players, and I don't think they have the goals either. So I'm interested to see what happens, but I don't see them going any higher than 14th. But yeah, that's my opinion anyway. So yes, I think Wolves are going to finish 14th. 13th place, who do I think is going to finish 13th? I honestly think it's going to be Fulham. It's an interesting one because obviously Fulham are under Silva's done really good work. I like the way they play. They do have that kind of resilience that they can stay in the league and be a very good mid-table side. But obviously if they want to move up, I think obviously they're going to sort out that defensive, the problems they have, and obviously lack of goals as well. Obviously since Mitrovic went, when they've lost 1 or 2 big players that obviously they're really integral to how they play. So it'll be interesting to see if they can replace them. If they can, I think they're going to be a really tough team to go against this season. But 13th place seems alright. I just don't think they have enough that they can break into that top half. I don't think they're that bad that they're going to be dragged into a relegation fight. So 13th seems right for Fulham. And yeah, so I think that's the right place for them. So I think Fulham are going to finish 13th this season. 12th spot, this is going to be an interesting one because obviously I think a lot of teams are going to be vying for that top spot, and I think the European spaces, and I think it's going to be from 12th all the way up to obviously with the bottom, top 5 or top 6. But I think Bournemouth are going to be finishing 12th this season. Yeah, I don't know. Just obviously I like Raiola, if I pronounce that correctly. I like his style of play. Obviously it started off tricky at the beginning, but near the end of the season it was really good. Obviously with Solanke kind of going to Tottenham is kind of down to because that's where their goals have gone. If they can replace him, I think they've still got a good record. I think they've got I think they are the most improved side in the last 6th place record. I think 2/3 of the season last season. They still top in most of the most improved. So I think when they got going with the style of play the manager wants to play, they're really good. But yeah, I like Bournemouth. Always had a bit of a soft spot for them. But yeah, I think it's going to be a battle. I think they can maybe break into the top half, but I just think the other teams are just a bit ahead at the moment, and obviously losing their top scorer is going to be a problem. But be interesting to see what happens with Bournemouth. Yeah, I just think they're just going to be good enough. I think they're going to be challenging up there in the top half, but I think 12th is pretty much where I think it's a good spot for them. So yeah, I think Bournemouth are going to finish 12th. And yeah, interesting to see what happens. But yeah, 12th is where I think they're going to finish. Spot, who's going to be top of the bottom half, who's going to just miss out on the top half. My pick, I think it's going to be Palace. I like what Oliver Glasner has done with them. Obviously it's the first manager in a long time they've had that's actually going to play some really progressive and very attacking football. Obviously at times they were unplayable last season. The back half, obviously when he signed after tragedy what happened to Roy Hodgson and obviously his health, but yeah, obviously they play some good stuff, but they have lost. A lot of their big players are being poached from bigger clubs and top, so it'll be interesting to see if they replace them. I think the style of football is going to be interesting. I think them losing that quality is going to affect them. And but yeah, I like Palace. Like what they play. I like that they've finally got a manager that can make them play some good football. So I think 11 is perfect for them. Obviously, they've had 11 straight finishes when they're finished between 10th and 15th. So if you go by statistics, I think that's probably where they're going to end up. But if I was going to put money on a surprise package this season that's going to really shock the system, maybe you get into those European spaces, I would put Palace. But I think at the moment, for this goal prediction wise, I think 11th is a good spot for them. But don't be surprised if I go back to this and this is wrong. So I'm intrigued to see what happens. I like the manager. So it's good. Things don't feel bad at Palace as they used to be, in my opinion. Just tell me what I Palace fans. But yeah, 11th spot, I think that'd be a good spot for them. But don't be surprised if they shock some people this season. 11th spot is where I think Crystal Palace is going to finish this season. Now on the business end of the table, the top half. So we're in the 10th spot now. Who do I think is going to finish 10th? Interesting one. I think this is going to be, well, as far as I'm wrong, but my pick is Brighton. Obviously, it's been all change and transition, obviously, after the Zerbi went left to go to, I think, to Marseille, if I'm correct. So obviously they got the manager in Herzler, obviously from St. John, obviously done really well getting a team like St. John from Bundesliga 2 to get them into the Bundesliga. So yes, they've gone for the usual. They've been doing a lot of transition with young players, buy and sell, but now they've gone youth with the manager. So it's going to be interesting to see how Brighton cope with that. Obviously, they've bought a lot of players in. They're spending about 75 million already, so they've got, they're using the money that they've got from the big players in the previous seasons, that they've got the money. But I don't know. I think it obviously depends on how this new manager works. Is this a big leap for him? Can he do it? But if you're going to try your luck at a club, Brighton, it's probably the perfect pick for you. I think 10th. I think perfect for him. I think there's too much transition, a lot of things changing at that club. So I think if they can just stabilise, and they're going to be challenging for the European space, but I just think they're going to come short. I think 10th would be okay for them. I'm intrigued to see how this new manager works out. I'm really excited for it. If I would be excited as a Brighton fan to see, because obviously they're a good run club. And question is, would it be a situation? I think this season that buy and sell, you just might have a bit short. But I'm intrigued to see what happens. But yeah, Brighton 10th. I think for this season, I think that'd be good. That'd be good enough for them. I still think they'll be challenging for the European spots right to the end. But I think 10th is where they're going to finish. Yeah, 9th spot. Who do you think is going to get it? I think it's going to be West Ham. It's a weird one because obviously I think they're really exciting with their new managers coming, and obviously it's first time David Moyes. So when he left, this guy kind of plays similar football, but just a bit more. They want to play some more football that's more controlling and less kind of on the counter. And they've got some good players. Obviously they've brought in the full crew. Obviously, if you watch the Euros, he's a very, very good player. He played for Germany, and obviously he's a very old school kind of stay in the box kind of player. So it might be good for them. Obviously, they might have finally found the goals that they've been missing with their good style of play on the counter, so that might help them this season. And obviously some good acquisitions as well. A couple of good players in. I'm just really excited. It's the first time probably, if I was a West Ham fan, really excited to see what will happen. Obviously, David Moyes did bring success with that European Conference League win, but football-wise it wasn't brilliant. But I'm intrigued to see where they go. I mean, soft spot for West Ham as well. Still got a friend that's big supporter of them. He'll be he's always a bit hesitant because obviously getting into West Ham is not exactly a really fun thing to do sometimes because of the way they play and how the last couple of seasons have been a bit strange. There's been a lot of ups, but there's been way more downs. But yeah. 9th, I think this would be good enough. I think, again, it depends on how the new manager's kind of system works. I wouldn't surprise if they probably got 8th or 9th, but I'm pretty sure the 9th's going to be enough for them, and hopefully they'll just miss out on European football again. But I don't know, I'm intrigued West Ham. I'm really intrigued to see what they do. But I think they're going to do well this season, and don't be surprised they're a dark horse this season in the Premier League. But West Ham, but I think they're going to finish 9th. So 8th place, where do I think it's going? Who's going to take that spot? It's a tough one because of a lot of good teams that are going to maybe have got a lot more commitments that might struggle this season. But I think it's going to be Chelsea. I don't think if it was Pochettino as their manager, I would have been putting them way higher. But ever since they kind of sacked him last season, I think it was unfair. They were just about getting into their groove at the end of the season, and then they got rid of him. It was a very strange move. And then they've kind of brought in the former Leicester City coach that won the championship last season, and he's kind of another prodigy of Pep at City, but it's another season, another new manager, another new player, a couple more players coming in, another new system to get used to, and I think they're going to struggle. They're going to be similar to last season. They're going to struggle at the beginning. It's going to be not great, and then at the end of the season, they might, if this guy doesn't get sacked by then, gonna just kind of maybe have a good run of form near the end if good run of fixtures and what. But I just don't see them. Maybe they could sneak into the European spots, maybe, because last season they've done really well, and they've got European football now this season, so maybe that might balance it out. But yeah, I'm not optimistic with Chelsea. Obviously, I don't know. It's just a lot of changes again, a lot of bad ownership situation there, another new manager, new coach, all kinds of chaos in that club, and I don't think they're going to get around it. And obviously, they've still got the problem with they need a striker. when last season they were playing a lot of good football, and they were like all the stats were telling you they were playing good stuff. In a sense, sometimes not hard to, sometimes stats and what you see, but they just didn't have it like that. Jackson, good player, but he's not a prolific goal scorer that can put the goals in the back in there. So they need that. Can they get? Do they have to be a bit more cautious with the financial fair play stuff now? They can't really just cork out kind of big money that they used to. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting with Chelsea. But I don't think they're going to. I think 8's probably where they're going to end up. Wouldn't be surprised if Manny gets sacked by before the end of the year. And yeah, because that's pretty much what Chelsea does now. They've always been a bit of chaotic clubs, but it used to get success. Now it doesn't. It's just a chaotic club with no success, no direction. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think 8th is a perfect spot for them, but we'll find out in the season. Let's talk about the 7th spot in the Premier in my predictions. Yeah, who do you think is going to get that spot? I think it's going to be Villa. Obviously, they've got Champions League football to look forward to this season. It's crazy, by the way. I haven't seen Villa. I don't think Villa's been in European football since the 80s. When it comes to the European Cup, obviously they came to the semi-finals last season of the Europa Conference and just missed out. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens if they could deal with it. Because there's obviously a difference between Europa Conference football and Champions League football. You've got to balance that out. Have they got the squad for it? They might not. They obviously can't totally rely on their world-class goalkeeper and Ollie Watkins as well. Was it Martinez? So we can't really rely on them two all the time, because obviously 2 games a week is going to be depleting on their squad. But if anyone deserves the kind of patience, it is Unai Emery, and he knows how to do European football. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they've got 1 or 2 good players in. Can they handle the break? I don't know if time to tell, but I think 7th will be alright. Obviously, they'll still get European football, so they'll still be in Europe. To do it once to get in Champions League, to do it twice, it takes different squad depth, and I don't think they have it. But if I was a Villa fan, I'd be very excited this season. Champions League football, all kinds of teams they can play. They play some good style of stuff, so it's going to be interesting. I like Villa, I really do. And I think 7th would be just, I think it might be a bit too much for them. I think they might tail end. Or maybe have a bad start, but I think they'll just recover enough to get 7th spot. But yeah, I think Villa will 7th, and yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how they do in Champions League though, because Newcastle did do very well in their first season, so it'll be interesting to see if Villa, I think they just started the group stages or the group league stage now. It'll be interesting to see how they survive. It's going to be fun if you're a Villa fan watching this. It's going to be a fun season for it. So yeah, but I think they're going to finish 7th overall. 6th spot, let's talk about 6th spot, and the team I think going to finish 6th is probably Man United. I think they've still got the problems with the structure at the top, but they're working on it slowly. They're also doing, and obviously what they've still have the kind of injury problems that kind of plagued them last season, kind of stopped them playing the way they wanted to play. Obviously Ten Hag they did win the FA Cup last season. They won the League Cup and the FA Cup in 2 seasons. For any other club that'd be really good. For Man United, that's still not good enough for them. And that's fair enough, because they are a big club, and obviously you go from winning all those Premier Leagues all those years ago, and then the best you can get is a couple of cups. Yeah, you can see why the high expectation is at Man United. But yeah, they're still short. I think they're still need a midfielder. They still feel a bit like they're still lacking goals. Maybe who's going to get those goals? I don't think they have it yet. But if they can kind of figure out how to not get outdone by people that press better, obviously, or just be kind of undone by teams that kind of just stop the low block and stop them from playing. They might do well, but I don't know. From what I've seen, I wouldn't be going into the season optimistic for Man United fans, but I don't think there ever is. For the last couple of years, as a Liverpool fan, I understand what that's like. Sometimes in the dark days, this is how most of the seasons felt like. But I think 6th, again, they're still in European football. Would it be near the end? I think maybe the squad depth again might be a problem. But it depends on Ten Hag. I think this is his last season. If we can't get it going this season and don't look like they're progressing, I think they're going to get rid of it. So, but 6th, I think will be good shape for them. But again, Man United, you don't know what to expect. 1 minute they can be rubbish, and then they can beat City in the FA Cup final. It's crazy. They're a crazy club. I don't know what's going on. So my predictions might go out the window. But I think at the moment, from what I've seen, 6th will probably be where they finish this season. So yeah, only time will tell. Let's talk about 5th. who I think is going to miss out on Champions League football next season, who I think is going to just lose out, and that is for me Newcastle. I think they were unlucky last season with injuries. The squad depth is not as good as it should be. Obviously that kind of plagued them, and obviously they had a pretty rubbish into the season, and it didn't end well for them. But optimistic, no midweek games, no European football, so inferior, should have limit there when the pressures on their squad. And obviously, was it Isca? Was it the Spanish? Was it the Swedish striker? I think he's going to have a great season. I think he's due one, and Bruno, obviously, he's out as well. So with them, he's like the linchpin for the whole team, so it kind of makes them tick. So when he's out, they kind of lose him. But yes, obviously they're trying. I think if they sort out the defence, because obviously that was really the problem last season. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Newcastle. I think they've still got the quality to really push that top four. But I think the team I put for top four has just done enough. I think we'll have enough to, get that top four spot. But yeah, fifth spot, I think that'd be a good season for Newcastle. I think it would be nice to get a cup run, maybe, because they haven't really had. Obviously, they've been close, but I think if they want to really progress, they need to win a trophy at some point. But fifth's good for them. Wouldn't surprise me if I'm wrong, maybe at fourth, or but it depends on if they're injuries, I think. So, but yeah, I think fifth for Newcastle, and I think it's going to be an interesting season for Newcastle. But yeah, I think they're going to finish fifth. Now we're into the exciting part of the predictions. Now we can talk about who I think is going to get top four, who's going to get that fourth Champions League spot. I think it's going to be Tottenham. I think the signing of Solanke from Bournemouth, and their top scorer, is definitely going to solve a long-standing problem with a lot of, similar to other teams. They just don't have a decent striker that can get the kind of goals. He's really improved since Daisy left Liverpool. He's really developed into a really top quality kind of striker. And with now the kind of the way Tottenham play, they've always needed someone to kind of put them goals away. And obviously it gives an opportunity for Son to be able to take Son off and still have a linchpin to their attack. So yeah, and obviously they've got Gray as well from Leeds. They're up and coming kind of midfield. Very good player. Leeds are very desperate. They've devastatingly lost him. So yeah, but Tottenham just sank about the vibe. There's something good going on in that club. I think they might have got a good manager. They're playing some good stuff. They just lack the quality that they didn't have last season. Kind of shone through eventually. They played good stuff at the start, but then the old thing, it's just like when you don't have the squad depth, eventually it comes back to bite you. So it's one of those things. But I think with the two signs they've got, they've got a real threat. I think they might let them go with. They're going to score more goals. It's going to just be enough to get them into that top four. But I think it's going to be their last ditch. But I think Tottenham are going to get the Champions League spot this season. So yeah, third spot. Obviously we'll get to talking about who's going to be champions, who's going to just miss out on the title. Who do I think is going to finish third? I think this season, if my pick is obviously going to be Liverpool. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I would obviously pick Liverpool win the league, but optimistically, Slot, I think it's a solidified season. I think obviously the pre-season will be really exciting. The Slot ball, as they call it now, it's a lot of good goals. Looks like they're picking up with the new style of play very well. Obviously, we've still got the problems where we haven't signed anyone yet that could come back to bite us. Obviously, while I'm recording this, we just missed out on a big signing. And obviously everyone's up in arms, but I think we're going to be okay in that sense. I just don't think we're just below the top two. And I would love to sit there and say that, but we did punch above our weight last season, so I wouldn't be surprised, because obviously Klopp, maybe I think Klopp's kind of knows how to get more out of you than, it's like Fergie type in that way. You always could push more than you probably thought you could do. So we did kind of overachieve last season, but hopefully with the kind of style of play, more controlling, more less chaos, more controlling of the ball. Hopefully that should mean watching games more comfortably, and also, there is exciting in this team, and this team almost won everything last season. So there's got to be something there. But I think this season, and solidify the season, get us and play some good football. Maybe hopefully challenge for the league, but obviously might miss out. Maybe win it. Best thing for him will win a trophy early, because then that will solidify this guy knows how to win trophies. And then she doesn't have to wait. That Klopp took him a long time before he won his first trophy, so hopefully he doesn't have that. I think I'm excited this season. I'm excited going in, but I think the top two, I think, we're just lacking. Two obviously big signings. Maybe that might change their mind, but as we're calling this, I think third's probably going to be where Liverpool's going to be. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Liverpool going to be this season. But yeah, my pick is probably, I think they're going to finish third, but that's fine. I'll take third this season, and hopefully next season we can challenge. But I like to be. This is one of the predictions that I think is going to be. Don't forget this, I'll be okay. But if I'm wrong and we obviously challenge the league, we can win it, then I'll be even extra happy. But I think third is going to be the perfect spot for us. I think we're going to finish third. So the time has come. Let's talk about who I think is going to be at second spot and who's going to be champions this season. Obviously, we know who the ones we'll all talk about. Obviously, we're talking about Man City, the reigning champions, and Arsenal, who just about got pipped to the title last season. So the question is, who's going to finish where? It's an interesting one because obviously Arsenal did do very well last season. Defensively, they were probably defensively very good. They got 89 points. I mean, what more can you do? Obviously, scoring goals to the wings and stuff. Basically, they did everything right. I think the old saying goes, you do everything right, but still lose. It's just life. It's sometimes in football you can do everything right, but still lose. But when you go against the City side that just has that ability and has that quality, just when you think they're out of it, they just have that quality to build a couple of results and winning titles and winning stuff. It's just how they are. But it'd be interesting because obviously with Pep, I've got a feeling this might be his last season at the club. Obviously, we can all talk about the financial fair play, the kind of charges. That's not about here. Obviously, I don't know. I honestly don't see past City to win the title. I think it would be crazy to anyone go against them. They've won it 4 in a row. They've got enough quality and ability to definitely win a fifth. I mean, I would love to see Arsenal win it. I've got to be honest. I really would. Someone different, obviously in what I do, well, I want Liverpool to win it, but I just don't see that right now. But yeah, I mean, I think all Arsenal are probably got to do is just keep doing what they did last season. Maybe obviously now they've got defensive, their left backs kind of been solved, so maybe they might have more squad depth, so they can that will be a weakness that maybe some teams can exploit. Striker, maybe get another striker in, maybe just to, give them an extra 2-3 more, like 10 goals that might be able enough to outdo City. And just maybe City could have a bad season. It does happen. I mean, the reason we won Liverpool and the league long time, when we won it, is because City just they had a season where they dipped and we kept the standards and we won. So that's the only way I see. But if City were full stretch, they're gonna win the league. I would love to see something different, but I just don't see them not winning it. But what's probably going to stop them is probably going to be outside stuff with obviously the 115 charges and what that builds up and what happens there. Will that be a thing to decide through this season or maybe next season? We don't know. But it's interesting. I mean, but I think so. I probably think Arsenal finish second, and I think Man City will be your Premier League champions at the end of the season. I really hope I'm wrong with the top 3. In an ideal world, I would love Liverpool to win it, but I just don't see it. I think City are going to win it, but if Arsenal all Arsenal do is keep doing what they're doing, they'll be fine. But yeah, so I think City are going to win the league, and I think Arsenal are going to finish second. So that's my pick. They're my picks for my predictions for who's going to finish where in the Premier League table. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. And yeah, let me know in the comments below. Who do you think? Do you like my predictions? If you don't, let me know in the comments below your predictions. Who do you think is going to finish where? What's your opinion on the upcoming season? Love to talk to you guys. Love to talk to you all about football. But yeah, not more to say. Hope you enjoyed my video. And yes, and see you next. My next video. There's going to hopefully be a lot of more videos on this season's Premier League. So it's going to be fun. So until then, have a good rest of your day, and yeah, and see you at the start of the Premier League season. It's going to be fun. So yeah, bye bye.